All right, I had a message to talk about walking grid work. So, a couple of months ago, in the late evening, I felt the need to go outside and to the walking track behind my house and start walking. And it was mainly to ground myself. I was walking barefoot around the track. But then as I was doing that, my mind started wandering. And I just allow myself to go wherever it needs to go. And I started receiving a signal to check in on the grid. So basically, any light worker, what you can do if you hold light, if you know how to give divine light or channel light, you just simply ask for divine light to come through your crown, through your body, and down into the earth. It doesn't have to be anything special. Everybody has their own way of doing it. I've talked to so many people. Some people go through the crown, through their body, through all their chakras, through their feet. Some people actually will do like in through their receiving hand, out through their power hand into the ground. Some people just completely see a pillar of light going through and through. There's a million different ways. I mean, your way is not wrong. So let me put that out right away. So when I do it, I've evolved, and now I do it where it's almost like a pillar, like I'm a walking pillar of light. But it had to get that way, you know. So I started walking. And I started grounding myself. And I was having this light come through me and go into my feet, into the ground. All right. And then as I'm walking, I started closing my eyes because I was walking the same circle over and over, just being one with myself. And I started seeing the grid pattern of the earth. And so I switched the light because I do pink grid light. This is what I see. I'm very colorful, so to speak. Like I see that there's a white grid light, a pink, a yellow, a blue, and a green, all in like pastel-y kind of colors. And so I do pink. So I started channeling the pink grid light. And so as I'm walking, in the past, if I start channeling too much light, like where it's like a whole bunch going through me, I start yawning and tearing up and stuff. And then if it gets very like too much, I'll actually fall asleep because the energy is more than what I could stay awake for. But guess what? If you're walking and you're channeling that heavy, extreme energy, you can continue. You know, like your walking is making you stay awake, pushing you further, you know, to do more, because we are capable. Don't think you're hurting yourself, because when you're channeling white light or channeling divine light or whatever you were channeling, it's good. You're not going to hurt yourself, you know. But you, like I said, you could possibly fall asleep. So the walking grid work is so powerful because you are taking the next step forward, you know, like I'm walking in a pillar of light and I'm putting it into the earth, and I am seeing my grid pattern spreading out from underneath me. It's spreading out underneath my city, and now I'm seeing it going further. It's spreading out over my state. It's now spreading out over half of my country. It's now spreading out over my continent, and so on and so forth. And you could see eventually pushing hard enough. But remember, when you push hard, you're actually letting go. It's like you're allowing, you know. And so because you're walking, you're not going to fall asleep, and you're not going to suddenly cut off what you're doing. And so I have been able to actually visualize putting pink light on the complete grid. All right. Now, after doing this for weeks, I started seeing that maybe I could start asking for other colors of light. And so I started seeing this main pillar of light Okay, so I walk in a plain, divine white pillar of light, and then within that white pillar of light is the pink, yellow, blue, and green. So what I'm doing is where I'm walking, okay, I'm sending all the grid lights, and I'm seeing it starting to spread, and I'm getting it, as big as my neighborhood, as big as my little town, as big as the nearby cities. And then when I get to that point, it's almost like, because I'm doing all the grid lights, I suddenly start triggering other people, because in my mind's eye, I'm looking at Gaia, I'm looking at the grid in my mind's eye, the complete thing, and I'm seeing me putting in all the colors into my one little tiny area, and then suddenly, like over France, I saw, if I think right, I think it was blue. But I saw somebody tapping into the grid, and they started doing their blue. And I was like, oh, so maybe I triggered them to want to come and do this as well, And then I think it was Brazil or something was the yellow. I don't know. I don't remember anymore. It's neither here nor there. But so it's almost like as if I triggered the other grid workers to start adding or something, because we all get the callings. We all feel it, like when we know we need to go out there and ground or we need to do whatever, it happens. So this whole message today is about walking grid work. So basically, if you want to get better and better and do more and more, you just push yourself while you're walking. And you see in your mind's eye, Gaia, or the earth, and you see the energetic grid that you need to work on, whatever your color light is, and you just start pushing. Well, not even pushing, opening, becoming a more and more open, raw channel for all that energy to just shoot right through you. And you see it, and you know that it's going where you want it to go. And you just relax, release, mantra over, over, over. Continue walking. Don't fall asleep. Keep going more. Keep pushing. Keep more. Don't give up. And you keep going. And hey, man, I am not a very physically fit woman. I mean, I'm all right, but I walked one night for 2 hours. I did like miles around this track, but it was because I was so energized and empowered because of the channeling of the energy that I was doing. So I implore you, try it. It's easiest when you're doing like a walking track where you don't have to pay attention to where you're walking. And I was even seeing where when I get to the place where I want to be eventually, I'm going to make myself one of those labyrinths where I could do like a mindfulness meditation, So if you're walking the same path over and over and over, you could almost do it with your eyes closed, or you can let your mind slip over and not pay attention to where you're walking. So in your mind, you could be looking at your mind's eye while your eyes are still open, because you don't have to pay attention to what's right in front of you. So try it. See if you like it. And I would love to find out your opinions about it, and see if you feel stronger. See if you can do more, because I feel like I have been able to up my game. I've doubled what I used to be able to do. So try it.